Imagine this. It's a quiet evening in 1987. You're watching your local news station in Chicago. The broadcast is completely normal until suddenly the signal cuts out. The screen goes black for a second. Then a strange figure appears. He's wearing a Max Headroom mask, that creepy, glitchy 1980s television character with a pixelated face and stiff movements. Behind him is a swaying, corrugated metal background. His voice is distorted, warped, and mocking. He starts talking nonsense about Coca-Cola, then says, "They're coming to get me," before the transmission cuts off mid-sentence with a loud scream. This wasn't part of the show. Someone had just hijacked a live television broadcast. And to this day, no one knows who did it. Welcome back to Rabbit Hole Remains. Today we're uncovering one of the strangest and most mysterious incidents in television history, the Max Headroom television signal hijacking. This is a story that feels like it came straight out of a cyberpunk thriller, except it actually happened. Let's go back to the 22nd of November, 1987. It was a Sunday night in Chicago. First incident, around 9 p.m. During a sports segment on WGN television, the signal was suddenly interrupted. Viewers saw the Max Headroom figure appear for about 25 seconds. He was swaying from side to side in front of that rippling metal background. The audio was heavily distorted, and the person behind the mask mumbled something that was mostly unintelligible. Then, just as abruptly as it started, the hijacking ended. Engineers at WGN managed to regain control of the signal. Most people wrote it off as a weird prank. But it wasn't over. 2 hours later, at approximately 11 p.m., the same masked figure hijacked a completely different station, WTTW, which was airing an episode of Doctor Who. This time, the intrusion lasted much longer, nearly 90 seconds. The figure, still in the Max Headroom mask, began speaking in a distorted, stuttering voice. He rambled about Coca-Cola, saying things like, "Catch the wave," and "I stole CBS." He mentioned a dork and "they're coming to get me." He even exposed his bare backside to the camera while someone off-screen spanked him with a fly swatter. The transmission ended with a scream and the words "Max Headroom" before cutting back to the Doctor Who episode. Engineers at WTTW were helpless. They tried everything to stop the signal, but the hijacker had overridden their transmission tower. The entire incident was caught live on air. The next day, both hijackings made national news. The FBI launched an investigation. The Federal Communications Commission got involved. Newspapers called it one of the boldest broadcast intrusions ever recorded. And then, nothing. No arrests. No credible claims of responsibility. No one ever came forward. To this day, the Max Headroom hijacker has never been identified. So how did someone actually pull this off in 1987? Back then, television stations transmitted their signals to broadcast towers using microwave links. These links were often unsecured and easy to intercept if you had the right equipment and knew the frequencies. The hijacker likely set up a more powerful transmitter on the same frequency as the station's link, effectively overpowering the legitimate signal. The corrugated metal background was probably just a cheap piece of industrial material hung in a basement or garage. The mask itself was a store-bought Max Headroom mask, widely available at the time because the character was hugely popular. But here's what makes it truly mysterious. The technical skill required, the timing of two separate successful hijackings on two different stations in one night, and the complete lack of any follow-up or manifesto. Most broadcast hijackings in history had a clear message, political, religious, or activist. This one had nonsense. Random references to Coke television shows and inside jokes that never added up to anything. It felt less like a serious statement and more like an elaborate troll. Over the years, several theories have emerged. Some believe it was a group of disgruntled television engineers or insiders who knew exactly how the broadcast system worked and wanted to prove how vulnerable it was. Others think it was college students or a sophisticated prankster crew with access to expensive transmission equipment. There's even a persistent rumor that it was connected to the Chicago art and hacker scene of the late 80s. A few names have been quietly floated over the decades, but no solid evidence has ever stuck. The FBI eventually closed the case without charges. In 2017, on the 30th anniversary, Chicago Magazine interviewed several people close to the original investigation. They all admitted the same thing. They still have no idea who did it. The Max Headroom hijacking remains the most famous unsolved broadcast intrusion in American television history. What makes this case so haunting isn't just the creepy mask or the distorted voice. It's the realization that in 1987, long before the internet made hacking commonplace, someone could walk into your living room through your television set and broadcast whatever they wanted. It was a glitch in the matrix, a reminder that the media we trusted wasn't nearly as secure as we thought. And the fact that it's still unsolved after almost 40 years makes it even more unsettling. Some people believe the hijacker or hijackers are still out there, laughing every time the story gets retold. Others think the prank was so perfect that revealing their identity would only ruin the legend. So, what do you think really happened that night? Was it a group of bored geniuses pulling off the ultimate 1980s prank? An inside job by television engineers? Or something stranger? Drop your theories in the comments below. Thank you for tuning in to another rabbit hole. If you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next unsolved mystery. And the next time you're watching television late at night, just remember, someone might still know how to break in. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, the rabbit hole remains.